The countdowns kind of left me a little bit.
No, that was the worst one of them all. I stuffed it up bad. Anyway.
Oh, what you mean the timing? So when does it start?
I was premature in my countdown there. Sorry, guys.
So where does it cut in then?
So where did we start?
Maybe with the Ballina bomber. I'm not too sure. Right where I wanted it. Thank you.
I'll give the guy credit for one. I'll give him credit once, and he messes it up. Honestly, just the once.
I like how honesty is though. I goes, nah, boys. That's the worst one.
We were so close. Let's try again. Hello and welcome to another episode of Grange TV. We have with us the Ballina brawler, the fucking boomer from the back streets of Ballina, Eli Hedges, the king of the count.
The king of the count. He's got that. He does.
Mr. Robert Whittaker, one half of the most famous Fab and Rob combination after Milli Vanilli. Thank you for being here.
We're catching them.
Slowly catching them. Thank you, Rob, for being here as well.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Can I just thank our sponsor, Kaplan Homes?
In case you guys haven't noticed.
The wall people. And before some degenerate points out that this is not centered, it's not centered. That's the way the room is. It won't be centered. Leave it alone.
It never will be centered.
I would also like to welcome and thank the 98% to 99% of Grange TV viewers that are growing stronger every day, that support us. And honestly, I'm going to be nice to the 2%, 1%, 2% of degenerates that watch. Thank you for watching, guys. Keep watching.
Shout out to the guy who put together the meme of the pie chart.
That was so good.
that was
on
clever.
Grange TV memes.
Yeah, the Grange TV memes, check them out. There's a pie chart of Fab's very well thought, put together statistics of the people that watch the show. So thank you.
Also
thank you,
a recipe, if anyone missed it, for an omelette.
The omelette recipe.
Yes.
Don't
forget that.
Yes, mate. That's something that everyone should go through once in their life, is the omelette recipe. I think that's very important. What's been happening, gentlemen? How was PAX?
PAX was amazing. It always is. Last year, PAX was very good. Was leading into the fight, so I couldn't enjoy it as much as this time, like as relaxed. But this time going in, kind of knowing what I was in for, and just it blew me away again. It was unreal. So I played a lot of games, saw a lot of new booths, saw a lot of upcoming games, and and just you know what, the fans make it so much fun, I guess, because they create an atmosphere and a culture where everybody is just, honestly, like kids on Christmas. Everyone's just going crazy, as well as all the cosplay out there and the costumes and.
Did you dress up, Robert?
No, not this year. I didn't dress up. I walked around with a Warhammer for a little bit. What that is?
Something suitably, deliciously ridiculous.
It's like a massive hammer.
Why'd you walk around with that?
Why not?
And so you didn't dress up. Hey, Eli, last time we had that despicable character, David Roberts, here. This time, do you ever go to those like PAX and that and dress up?
Or Comic-Cons and something like that?
No. I
the mic?
Not at all. No. I don't go to them.
Do you like comic books or anything like that?
I like Star Wars, and that's around it. I can't even watch Fast and the Furious. I think it's that ridiculous. But do you know what I mean? Like, I watch Star Wars. At least I know that's fake.
I don't know how you draw the line at Fast and the Furious and not Star Wars.
It's the worst. Fast and the Furious.
How many Fast and the Furiouses did you watch? I watched the first one and
yes,
I couldn't do it.
The same, the first one. But when he said that, I live my life 1 mile at a time, I like wanted to change it then.
And you know what? I'm a bit of a fan of Vin Diesel. I liked him in Saving Private Ryan. I like him in The Boiler Room. There were quite a few films that he did all right. But that one, it just, when he said that line, it was over.
Yeah. I may have watched the first one as well, like when I was a kid. But I don't like cars very much. I like car shows, car games. I'm not huge into them. Like
I always tell a story when one time we were traveling in South America and we got stuck there, and I needed to hear some English, and the only movie they had out at the time was the Fast and the Furious, the one that they did in Brazil.
Oh yeah.
And I remember I seen the first scene or something like that, and I looked at my mate and I said, "I'm out of here. I can't do it." And he's like, "What? We just paid for the cinema." I said, "No, I'm gone." Just took my popcorn and left.
You know what movie I did like Vin Diesel in was what's that one where he's blind? You know what I'm talking?
Riddick.
Riddick. I liked Riddick. It was very. I don't know why he plays characters that are just cringy. It seems like every movie he's been in, it's cringy. Like even like he did that daycare one as well.
Pacifier.
The pacifier.
I don't know why I know all these movies.
Maybe because you stunt doubled some of them.
Yeah.
Come on, mate. Come on.
But yeah, like I don't know why.
There's shots, mate. There's things that you don't say in this.
I don't know why he plays only roles that he just does that cringy stuff like that with one-liners. Like Riddick was so cringy.
I liked it. Did you ever see Saving Private Ryan?
Yeah. Everyone likes that. Yeah.
I don't know if I've seen that one. Is that the one where the plane crashes behind enemy lines?
No,
Nah.
that's when they go and rescue Private
Is that called
Ryan.
Behind Enemy
Is
Lines?
the one brother
That
left.
one's called Behind Enemy Lines, and the one where they rescue Private Ryan, that's called Saving Private Ryan.
I don't think I've seen Saving Private Ryan. I've seen Behind Enemy Lines, but it's a great movie.
Great. Shout out.
Owen Wilson, isn't it?
Shout
don't know that one.
out to Behind Enemy Lines.
Who Private Ryan was?
No, the Behind Enemy Lines. Was that Owen Wilson? He played like a serious role?
I got no idea. I can't remember.
Right.
I can't remember at all.
No, but I don't dress up, Fab. I don't, not for Comic Cons or anything like that.
You dress up when you hop on the mats.
Yeah.
You know something? We're going to do hopefully be able to, weather permitting, we should be able to do a very special episode of Grange TV. Won't be able to go live this Sunday. Shout out to Chris Casakelli, who's organised a spearfishing journey for us. We like to go spearfishing.
Yeah.
Rob and I and Eli likes to go spearfishing, but Eli uses, because he's a fucking groovy person, Mr. Trendy man over there, uses a Hawaiian sling. He doesn't use like a gun like everyone else. Doesn't catch anything either, but still very, very environmentally friendly. But we should be going out spearfishing this Sunday and be able to take some footage and be able to make a little bit of a doco on that. So that should be fun.
That'll be great. Grange TV hitting the open waters.
100%.
I'm not going to lie, I'm a little terrified.
But you've been spearfishing before. I'm just going to open some windows, man.
No, I've been spearing before, but I'm not good at it. I can't hit anything. I think we were talking about it before. The only thing I've ever shot was what are they called again?
Rock hail.
Rock hail. Because I'm pretty sure I nudged it with the gun before I shot it anyway. Like they are a slow fish. But like, yeah, I can't. My accuracy with the spear gun is terrible. I can't hold my breath for very long. Yeah, I'm not a great spearfisher. I do, however, enjoy going exploring, like the exploration factor of like diving under and looking under this shelf and seeing if there's any. I say shelf. It's like looking under this rock and seeing if there's anything under there before I have to go up for air in about 2 seconds. But it's fun. Like I like that going into the unknown. You've done it a fair bit.
Yeah, living up home in Ballina, we had the river and the ocean and that there. You weren't allowed to spear in the river, but that didn't stop us as young kids, I guess. There'd be like a call, rangers here, and everyone would just let their Hawaiian slings go and would just pretend we're snorkeling. But what'd you catch in the river? Mainly we'd go for flathead. So you'd find them on the bottom of the ground and that. So a lot of flathead and that in the river.
What about yabbies? For the yabbies?
Yabbies are on the beach.
Are they?
Yeah.
I thought yabbies were freshwater.
No, you can get yabbies on the beach.
You know?
Yeah.
You get freshwater yabbies.
Okay. So I remember having
but the river he's talking about is saltwater.
Yeah, saltwater.
Oh, okay.
So it comes in from the ocean. We have a break wall and that.
Yes.
So you're allowed to spear anywhere outside the break wall. So you could be on one side of the wall, you're not allowed to spear. Other side, you are allowed to spear. But
unless you're Eli Hedges.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you catch a lot of good fish?
Yeah, we used to catch some big flatheads, big ones.
How big?
Oh, I don't know, we were littler. I would exaggerate it. I don't know. 50 centimetres. Good size.
All right.
That's
you get some sand whiting in that as well. So.
Well, we hope to be able to catch some good fish this weekend and have a good show for. If we get taken by a shark, the viewers will be amazing for the viewers.
Oh man, don't say that because I'm terrified about going out into waters. Do you want to talk your story? I know you want to tell your story. Tell your story about the time a massive shark took your bait.
Okay, we were out spearfishing, and were you there?
Hey,
were you there?
No.
was me and Richie Vass. Shout out to Richie Vass, who has fought in the UFC. So we were out spearfishing out at Cronulla, out at Kurnell, out at New Mary's Reef. And we were, like, I'm not a water baby. I grew up in southwest Sydney, so there wasn't, like, heaps of spearfishing. But anyways, I was out there and I was catching fish. And then I was swimming back. And I'd caught a few fish, which is reasonably rare for me. And as I was swimming back, I felt like a tug. And I thought it was like a moray eel or something that had got the fish. And I swam back out.
Does that happen a lot?
Yeah.
Like moray eels come up and take the fish?
eels take your fish.
I'm asking because I've never caught anything.
Yeah, they'll take your fish or little...
These are like those huge fat eels.
Yeah, they'll take your fish.
Wow.
Yeah, and I thought maybe they took it, but it pulled hard. And then I swam back to the floaty. And the waves thing, and a wave went out and then brought me back right next to the shark. And I didn't know it was a shark, but it was like... Have you been in the water with sharks, Eli?
Yeah, big wobbegong.
No, real sharks.
No, I didn't think...
It's not a wobbegong. Wobbegong, come on, mate.
I didn't think they were sharks either, so I was poking
No,
up...
it is a shark.
I've seen Richie pick a wobbegong out and throw it at someone.
Yeah.
No, this was a big one. And I thought it was funny as hell, like giving it a little poke. And that with my spear, and we're having a giggle because they're so slow and docile. And then, like, one of my mates, he, like, swam off real quick. Cat, do you know what I mean? Just laughing at him. And then we got up, and one of the fishermen on the rock was like, that wobbegong would have ripped you apart. Apparently, they have heaps. I thought they just had gums.
No, they got teeth.
Yeah. He said they got heaps of teeth. He said they weren't, you know what I mean? But they'll shred you up. But
How big was the one that would have shredded you up?
As long as me.
Did they get that big?
Yeah.
Because I always thought wobbegongs were just like those stumpy little...
No. I've been in the
things.
water with big ones too. But this wasn't a wobbegong. This was like a bronze whaler. I'm telling you the truth, man. What are you laughing at?
He's laughing too.
Anyways.
So tell me how you were swimming with a bronze whaler.
Don't make fun of me, mate. This is fucking almost cost me my life. And the shark had my fish. I'm telling you the truth. This is...
I'm laughing.
I'm telling a story.
No, I'm laughing because of the Grange memes that are going to take this story out of proportion. I can't wait.
Anyways, the shark had got my fish, and I was fucking scared. So I dropped my gun, everything, and started swimming back.
As you do when there's a shark.
Well, you should have kept your gun, in hindsight. But I thought...
Was it loaded?
Yeah, it had the whole thing. But I thought, nah, doesn't matter. I dropped everything, and I started, because I could swim a lot faster with my hands free. And so I started swimming hard as I could. It was still like, honestly, easy 200 meters away to swim back. And I swam so hard because I panicked that the shark wasn't a problem no more. I got like lactic.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought, I'm going to fucking drown here, and no one's going to open the gym. That's what went through my head.
No one's going to open the gym.
Yeah.
The session.
I had the keys. We just opened
the
Grange. And I remember slowing it down, got back to the thing, and then I told Richie, and Richie was like, oh, I can't let that go to waste, something I'm paraphrasing. And he jumped back in, and I went out and got all the stuff. And then when they came out, there's a photo, I've got to find the photo, of the shark had bitten the fish in half.
How big was the fish?
No, it was like a morwong, so it was probably about yay big, that big.
Wow.
So I bit it in half. So yeah, it was a shark. It was like a proper shark.
Yeah. I'm jesting now, but like if anything moves under the water, I freak out big time. Even when it's a fish.
You laughed at me now. Like I hope you see one on Sunday.
No, don't say that.
I hope it takes the food right off you.
I'm not gonna have.
And then I'm gonna.
You know, me and you are gonna be neck and neck running from that thing.
Nah, man. But have you seen sharks? Like when you've been surfing and that?
Yeah, surfing, yeah.
Like proper sharks, not wobbegongs?
Yeah, no, proper sharks. Yeah. I remember when I was 15. Is that not? Yeah. When I was 15, one time we were out North War and we were surfing out there, and the two guys I was with, they swam in, didn't tell me there was a shark there.
What?
So
was it on
they
purpose?
went up on the wall, and then they were watching me. They were still in the water, and they're like, shark. I'm like, you could have told me when you got out. But yeah.
How big was the shark?
Oh, I didn't get to see it, but...
But have you seen it?
Yeah, I've seen them. Yeah, definitely seen them.
When?
Oh, do you know what I mean? When you're out there surfing, you just see like the shadows and stuff like that. You just head straight in. So North War up in Ballina is now like a hot spot. Do you know what I mean? When I was 17, I think a kid from Austinville, a bodyboarder, he got killed there at North War. We've had another whole bunch of people along Lighthouse Beach, it's called there. They've been either killed or hacked up pretty bad. So, but when I was young, there was just, you were out all the time. You were out from dusk till dawn. There was people there all the time, but didn't have any problems. But obviously, there's a problem now.
How close have you been to a shark, though?
Like, I've seen the shadow go under me, but hard to get a gauge of what size it is.
Dude, that's terrifying.
Do you get scared?
Yeah. And sometimes even dolphins freak you out. Do you know what I mean? Because you don't see them at first and you'll see the shadow, but then you see it's a dolphin and you chill out a little bit. But yeah, no, you just straight in. Jump on anything you can and get in.
Do you panic and you just start gunning it?
Yeah, you just gun in. Just on any little wave you can get and just try to get in.
As fast as you can.
I've seen like little reef sharks when we've been out swimming, when we've been out spearfishing. I've seen wobbegongs in that. They don't really scare me. But like the ones that start to look like proper sharks, they start to scare me.
I got scared that time you pointed out that stingray.
Yeah, the big stingrays.
Yeah.
But the big stingrays, have you been spearfishing and the big stingrays start to follow you around?
Yeah, I haven't had them follow me around.
They follow you around for the fish.
Oh, yeah? No, I haven't had them follow me around, but I've been where like they'll pop out of nowhere and you go, oh, I didn't even see him under there.
Yeah, no, that time you pointed out that stingray, it scared the hell out of me. Like, I don't like anything that I've never seen before.
How big was it, mate? It was big.
Huge. I'm not going to do estimates. Because
Just do estimates because you're always so good at it. How big, was it 8 meters?
Probably from about here to that table end.
Yeah, probably. That's
maybe a little thicker.
Yeah.
A little wider.
Yeah.
Fat stingray. It's massive.
Almost 2 meters across, I'd say.
And then I was trying to mime to Fab, can I shoot it? I don't know the rules very well, but I always ask first.
Yeah, but even if you shot it, you'd lose all your gear.
You just got to take it with you.
I missed a fish one time and got a blue ring octopus on the end of my spear.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
I could not get it off. Just had to leave it there.
How big was it?
They were only little.
But I've never seen one in real life. Is it? You can see the blue rings on it.
Yeah, they glow just about. You can see it clearly.
And that's only dangerous if it bites you. Eh?
I'm not too sure if it.
Yeah, I think
if it bites you or if you touch it. Yeah, I thought they might have a poison. I'm not sure.
I think they may have. I think they're like.
Yeah,
may have like tips. I got no idea, but I think they may have barbs. I'm pretty sure they're not venomous in the sense that where they bite you with their little beaks, they have poison. I think the toxins are in the tentacles.
No, you don't know that.
I don't
know that.
I don't.
No, don't stop it. Let's just talk about something you might know.
Wait, so what did you do with the gear?
Oh, no, I just had so with a Hawaiian sling, you can just undo it halfway, and I had to leave the spear end down there. I couldn't even take the spear end off and keep the whole thing. Just half of it. Yeah. Had to just leave it.
I know plenty about animals.
Eli, while we start discussing Nico Price and James Vick, can you save the blue ring octopus from being profiled by Rob and find out what it is that makes it poisonous?
Will do.
Let's start with Nico Price versus James Vick.
Yeah.
From the weekend's card.
Let's discuss like what we're all thinking. Really want to talk about is that knockout. Like you don't see it very often, do you? Like the up kick knockouts. Like and it was. I still think James Vick is an amazing fighter. I think he has a great skill set, but that kick was huge. You can hear it. Like,
and he was knocked out bad.
Bad. Like it's like he fell, he collapsed straight away, and then was gone for a while. Like the guy had time to like hit him from the bottom a couple of times and then squirm out.
Celebrated, and he still wasn't good.
Celebrating, and like James was still gone. That was huge, and I think that's the third like massive knockout he's sustained.
Well, he just got knocked out by Dan Hooker on the same card that they fought like on the same card not long ago.
Yeah, it wasn't long ago. It would have been about 2-3 months ago max.
Yeah.
That's another huge knockout. You know, it's funny. Like I think.
Sorry. I didn't think he was fighting that bad.
No, neither did I. I didn't think the position he was in was bad either. I think it was a good position. He was landing good shots, but he just got caught it with that up kick. And it wasn't even just like a push-up kick. It was like an axe kick from the bottom. It was
It's like a giant fist, right on the chin.
Yeah. It's just so much worse because it's his legs.
Yeah.
And on the ball, like on the heel.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like a big knuckle.
Yeah, it's just terrible. That's a huge. Well, you could see the damage it did to him. I think James. I don't like how a lot of the fans are saying James Vick is done. He's a washout. He's a shit fighter. He's blah 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 blah. People get caught, but I do think that one thing that I think should be looked at least is like, is he giving his brain enough rest between fights, between knockouts? You know, because head trauma is real. You know, and it takes significant trauma to go out like that. You know,
you can't assume. Maybe he is. Maybe he got the correct advice. I think as well. And not just necessarily about James Vick, but also, like, even if you're not getting knocked out in the fights, that's what you see. But also the damage you're taking in training as well. You know, so that's you don't know if people get knocked out at training as well, or they've taken mad shots at training. So yeah, it's sad to see because it is 2 in a row for sure, 2 big knockouts in a row for him, and that's got to take its toll. Yeah, massively. Psychologically and physiologically.
Like, as a fighter, I really like him. I really do. Like, as a person, he's a really nice guy. We've met him a couple of times, and he's always been, like, real cool. And I think as a fighter, he's really interesting, fun to watch. And I think he's got a great stand-up skill set. Like, he's got a great skill set. He's got a great body for the game. But, it's just, what do you do?
What did you get out of that fight?
Yeah, it's hard. It's like it's hard. What can you take out? Like, if I'm James Vick, what do you do? Like, what sort of discussions do you have after a fight like that where you were? I feel like he was winning. Like, he was doing the right things,
or at least he. Yeah. I don't think anyone was winning at a fight that early. You know what I mean?
Very true.
But he was doing well.
It's hard to say. Like, yeah, you're very right on that. But like, he was doing well. I thought he was fighting great. And then that happened. Like, what sort of conversations do you have afterwards? Like, what conversations can you have? You know, it's hard. You know, and I can only imagine how rough he must feel, because I'm not sure. Like that's his second loss for certain in a row in the last year. But I'm pretty sure it's more than that, because
No, it's more than that. Yeah.
So I think he got knocked out beforehand as well. But yeah, what kind of conversations do you have? He'd be in a rough place mentally, I think.
Well, I think to bring it up, you just lost a fight like that. I think if I can kind of speak, not for you, but speak about the situation as well, being that you know, I'm somewhat part of it. I think you hear a lot. No, but I wasn't in there, so I couldn't do anything. And I think what a lot of people go, well, here's what he should have done, and this, because you know, that's all you see. And
you said it before revisionist history.
Yeah, revisionist history. Yeah, like that. That's one thing, the revisionist history. But the other thing is, like, you don't even know like what conversations you've had, or like in this scenario, like what conversations we've had. With, you know, like obviously, let's say for example, we're not going to say, Rob, you didn't follow the game plan, or fuck, you know, it wasn't my fault, it was Alex's fault. It wasn't Alex's fault, it was Justin's fault. It wasn't Justin's fault, it was Fab's fault. We'll have a conversation about what we saw objectively, you know, and go back. But sometimes, man, you lose. You know what I mean? Like that's what it is. I don't think it was Nico Price's plan to be on his back and throw an up kick like that. You know what I mean? And I don't think James Vick wanted to get hit.
And you know who's a really good example of this? I think we're going to move into him later. Is Weidman?
Yeah, well, let's talk about him
because he
we want to have actually Sarah and Longo on the podcast.
Yeah. I've reached out, so hopefully we can get them on in the next week or so. Obviously, he's tied up this weekend, but like, he's a guy that I believe has done everything right. You know, he's in a lot of I can't say everything, but from the outside, it looks like he's doing a lot of things right. And in the octagon, especially, I feel like it's reflecting that he's doing a lot of things right. I think a lot of the fights he's lost in his last 5 or so.
He's lost 3 in a row, I believe, and then beat Gastelum.
Yeah, but then the one before that he lost to Romero.
So no, he lost. He lost Rockhold, Romero, Mousasi, beat Gastelum, and now he's up.
He lost Jacare.
And lost to Jacare, and now he's up. That's how it went.
Yeah. And you know,
and sorry, I just want to say, Romero up there with some of the best middleweights, one of the best middleweights.
Yeah.
Mousasi, same thing. Gastelum, same thing. Jacare, same thing. You know what I mean? I miss it. Rockhold. You know what I mean? Like
he fought the killers. He's fought nothing but killers.
I respect that run more than had he beat.
Yeah, like if he was undefeated for like 10 in a row, but like,
yeah. No, because he didn't go out and get trashed off Romero.
Nah, he wasn't surviving every one of the fights. A lot of those fights he was winning, and that's what I guess where we're going with this is like what do you do when you're a guy like that where you've been winning fights, a lot of these fights, but then something happens and you get caught. Like Romero, he got caught at the end of the last round, like right at the end. Jacare, same thing. Like Mousasi, there was a touch and go, but that's
he was beating
thing,
Mousasi in the first round.
That's another thing though. Like it was weird. The whole way he lost that fight was just weird. Like,
yeah,
but it must.
But even give it to Mousasi. Losing to Mousasi is not. What's that? Is that you're a pussy because you lost to Mousasi?
Like, what do you do? Like, how much do you feel when you're doing the? Yeah, you know, and we touched on this last week. It's that whole thing that this isn't a fairy tale.
Nah,
this isn't. You know, sometimes there aren't happy endings. We're two guys out there duking it out, and you can do everything right and still come short.
I was watching actually a TED Talk. This lady was doing a TED Talk, and she has, I forgot her name. She's terminally ill, and she was talking about she's a historian, and she's saying like Western society, we believe like we have this thing that like everything happens for a reason and good things happen to good people, and if you do everything right, you're going to think, and like historically atrocious things have happened to great people. Do you know what I mean? Like that's not accurate. That it's not a life's not a fairy tale, you know. So you look at someone like Weidman, and I'm always excited to see him fight because I think he's phenomenal.
I am so happy he went up to light heavy because I'm a big fan.
Yeah, and also good to avoid fighting him.
Yeah, that was a hard fight.
Yeah, 100%. I think he's one of the better guys like to ever fight at that division, you know?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that, Eli?
I will just interrupt about the blue ring octopus.
Please do, Eli.
Please.
Jamie Allen sent in the blue ring octopus injects venom through its bite, boys.
I thought so.
Then I looked it up. Yeah, so it is.
Can't say he thought so after he tells us.
That's why I doubted you. Otherwise, I would have gone, I believe you, Robbie.
That is sad, dude. Just take the loss with me.
How was that a loss with you?
Because you didn't answer it.
I said, I don't think so.
If you thought so, you didn't say it.
It's on camera.
You didn't think so.
Otherwise, I would have said, yeah, is it, Rob?
So why didn't you say it?
I said, Eli, can you look it up? Because I don't believe you.
No.
So anyway, that's the blue ring octopus one.
That's
Chris Weidman,
yes,
yeah, he's going to go down as one of the best. He took the title off, arguably still the best fighter in the UFC. So,
but what about these guys that are fighting absolute demons, doing the right things? Looks like they're winning a lot of their fights by losing by getting clipped at the end.
Again, it's a good value of life. Do you know what I mean? Like, not everything goes your fucking way, unfortunately. Do you know what I mean? Doesn't matter how much want. Do you know what I mean? I remember talking about this. I think it was to Dave. Like, doesn't matter how much each weekend I want the Panthers to win. Do you know what I mean? Doesn't mean they're going to win. Doesn't matter how much I wish or. Do you know what I mean? Like, it sucks, man. That's just life. It happens.
I'm really interested to speak to his coaching staff because I want to know how they've gotten through all of that. You know, because that would be hard.
Oh, I can't imagine.
Like that would be super hard.
I can only begin to imagine.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you know, it would be such a hard thing, you know.
And the people, man, I just watch what people say, and I think, like, dude, like, Weidman, like, he'll kill you and your whole family. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. What are you talking about? You're talking about, like, this guy's not good, you know? And the dude he's fighting, man, Dominic Reyes, is no fucking joke. He's really good too. I don't know that he gets past him.
How do you think Weidman's transition to light heavyweight will be? Because he's always, to me, as a middleweight and him being a middleweight, he's always looked huge.
He looks big.
Yeah, he's always looked like a big guy.
There's a lot of guys that I see and I go, fuck, this guy's big, you know, when I see him for middleweight. All of middleweights are big, every single one of them, you know. And people don't get it. Like even when they say with Adesanya and they, well, I love this. Like say for example, Rob's fought him. We've met him, we've seen him, and like you know, people are like he's not big, and I'm like, dude, he's fucking big.
He's
like,
big.
He's a big guy. You've met him too, eh? Yeah. He's like not built like a thick dude, but he's a big guy. Yeah, he's a big guy, but Weidman of all those guys, even Gastelum's built like a little brick. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
he's a keg.
Yeah, he's not little.
No,
he's a brick. But Weidman's the one guy, even compared to Rockhold. Like I found Rockhold tall, but Weidman I always saw him as like he's a big dude. He's big one guy. Him and Hester, they're the ones that stood out as like real big dudes.
Yeah, Hester's just thick as, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a big guy.
Hector, yeah, but yeah, Weidman, same thing. Like
Hester, not Hector.
Hester, Clint Hester.
Yeah, he's a big guy.
But I think I feel like he's more. Again, he's got like a smaller waist. Like he's got that V-shaped sort of look. Because I remember I ran into him after, I think his last fight in the UFC, and I ran into him in Vegas, and that was after he moved to light heavyweight, and I was sitting next to him and I was like, he's a big guy. He's like nice and chiseled and stuff. Nice and chiseled.
That's what he thought of you, Hester. Yeah. The whole time he's fighting you, he's nice and chiseled.
Yeah, and he's and his dad's a great man as well.
His dad's a champion.
He's a champion. We were standing in the queue for the buffet together. He's a legend of a dude. But he looked big and thick, but he's not Weidman thick. Weidman just looks like his joints are big. You know what I mean? When I saw, because I recently saw like a replay of like when he starched Anderson Silva, he looks so much bigger than Anderson Silva.
Yeah,
like monstrously bigger. And that was one thing when we were like looking at the division way earlier in our career, and we were sizing up the guys. There was one guy we always thought was going to be a nightmare of a fight because he's a big dude and his skill set is so on point.
One guy that I don't think is as big as people think is Romero. Like he's big. Romero too was massive.
Yeah, I was going to say like
no. But I was going to say no. But Romero, he's big. Yeah. But he's more than just being a big guy. He's very explosive and athletic with that size.
Yeah, he's.
But
quick.
I think Weidman's bigger. Like just as a
Weidman's a bigger dude.
Yeah, as a bigger person.
Yeah. But
you'd be hard pressed to get a dude like Romero that can explode like him. And I think that's the thing with Romero.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, because having said all that we said is kind of like I'll use Darren Till as an example. Although Darren Till's a striker and whatnot, Darren Till at welterweight, I may be wrong, but he never struck me as a particularly fast welterweight. He always struck me as being a welterweight that was bigger than the other welterweights and knew how to use it and had a lot of strength and a lot of power.
Yeah, he was the tall guy who was a great tall fighter.
Yeah, great tall, big, strong fighter. Going into middleweight, maybe he wasn't particularly fast as a welterweight, but maybe he'll be fast as a middleweight. I don't know. Maybe he'll just be fucking huge at middleweight, which I don't know. That's why this fight's going to be interesting. But if you're not particularly fast at welterweight and you go up and you're now the same size as the other middleweights and you're not particularly faster than them, maybe it's not good. I don't know. I don't know how all of that translates. But these are the variables.
Yeah.
Right? I know that everyone on the internet already knows, but I'm just saying that I don't know.
And everyone's also like calling you an idiot for not knowing.
I'm an idiot. I should just say anything.
Yeah.
And the same thing with Weidman. Weidman was big at middleweight and he had a great skill set and he was able to use that skill set and his size and his length. I think that allowed him to do a lot of things at middleweight. Can he go up and be a stronger, more excellent version of himself? Maybe, or maybe that extra length that he had at middleweight won't be there at light heavyweight. Maybe that extra size that he had there won't be there, and he won't be able to use it as much. And that's where the thing is. Rockhold to me was always the anomaly, because I always felt with Rockhold, he was tall and he was using it really well at middleweight, and he was big and he was using that at middleweight. and I never thought that he would translate, and he might still do that because I think he's a fantastic fighter, but I didn't know that he'd be able to necessarily be able to translate that into light heavyweight.
Light heavy. Yeah, we've spoken on this at length. One thing I will give Weidman though is that if he, let's say he gets stronger and bigger for being a light heavyweight,
which he probably would.
His wrestling game, I can see like starching a lot of people in that division up until you reach the top.
Big fan of Weidman.
Up until you see the top, you start reaching that top guys that the skill sets are much more well balanced. I can see him beating a lot of people with his wrestling game because Weidman's grappling is phenomenal. Yeah, phenomenal, and he's like his entries into shots and the way he always. Like
the way he does a snatch single.
Yeah, the way he could snatch single, but on the far leg, like, which is such a hard thing to do. I know there's a lot of fans out there who don't really understand what I'm saying, but snatch singles on far legs is hard because you've got a lot of distance to travel. And not to mention the guy that you're trying to do it to is throwing punches and kicks. So, yeah, and it was so clean. Like, he always did it in the best. His timing was on point. Like, he used his striking as an excellent gateway into transitioning into the ground game. Like, yeah, I can see him dominating a lot of guys. Like just on a pure wrestling grappling sense. But like, I guess we just have to see. We just have to see how he goes up against those bigger guys. Like where everyone is kind of as big or taller. Like this guy that he's fighting, I think they're about the same height, but I think he's got more reach.
Yeah, and Ray has wrestled growing up and played high-level football and that. He's a great athlete. He hits hard. He's good, man. This guy...
Yeah, and that's another problem. Like, everyone in the light heavyweight division hits hard.
Yeah.
Everyone.
and that's what I mean. Like a decent-sized light heavyweight is like a good-sized middleweight. Yeah. You know what I mean? So you might not have that size advantage. I don't know. I don't know. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, I'm very curious.
What do you think of it?
The same thing as what you said. There's so many variables when he goes up to that weight. Is everyone going to be so much bigger and stronger? Can he compete with them? The length, the size.
It always is like that.
Because when you go up a weight, like you might have been big for your weight division, but them guys are big for their weight division as well. So I don't know. Do you think the coaching staff sit down and go, all right, let's look at our skill set, our wrestling skill set, and can we get to back to a contender and a championship in this division better than what we could in middleweight?
That's hard to say, because I guess like our conversation when I made the decision, like when we made the decision to go up to middleweight was more on a health based.
Yep.
It's that I'd be curious to find that out. Like
it's hard to speculate, and that's why it'd be good to have his coaches there. Because it's hard to speculate. Like you hear, I see people have any sort of opinion or this. Like it's funny. You go, this was Rob's game plan. He didn't follow the game plan. He didn't this, and I think, well,
how would you know?
How would you know? None of us have spoken about it. Like,
let's get it out there. I followed the game plan.
Yeah, and not only that though. Like you. But even then, like, you can say you followed the game plan, but what was the game plan? No, you did. We're not sitting there talking about it. Yeah. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know. I'd love to find out what about the coaches, about his career and that.
About the decision to move up and
the whole thing, and also how they dealt with the
losing.
Yeah, with the losing and how they dealt with that, because, like, everyone's an expert. You know what I mean?
I'd love to be able to get Chris on this.
Yeah, 100%.
Maybe because we're no longer in the same division, I can reach out to him and be like, "Hey man, no, you didn't notice, but huge fan."
Because was it Randy Couture back in the day when he fought at light heavyweight and he knew that his skill set, he could beat everyone in the heavyweight division, so he asked Dana to move up there, and then he became world champion there. Yeah.
Yeah, and he fought Tim Sylvia.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's what I mean. There are situations where you look and you go like,
opportunity.
Yeah, I can beat this guy and that guy in that way. I think Weidman can do well in either sense, but I'm really interested. I'm really looking forward to getting his coaches and possibly him on the podcast.
Massive.
And having a chat with him about it, because I just really interested in that journey. I'm interested in the journey, you know, like that's one of the things, like, I think people are just interested in the results, and people are just interested in, like, he lost to Romero, he lost to Jacare.
Yeah.
I'm more interested in, like, let's understand how that happened.
Yeah, it's funny that, it's like fighting, like, that's like the end result. Everything else is the recipe that goes into you coming out the other end like this. And I guess, like, seeing the different factors and stuff, especially from our perspective, where we have a pretty, like, good idea on what we're doing.
Oh, dude, and you know, when you say you followed the game plan or this and that, and you think, like, what was the game plan? Like, what do you know? Do you know if he was? Do you know if the guy was injured? Do you know if the guy had an injury and then he couldn't shoot, or he couldn't strike with his left hand, or he couldn't do this, or he couldn't do that? How would you know?
Or maybe it wasn't even injured then, but the 8 weeks beforehand he got injured.
That's it, yeah.
And he couldn't train with his left leg the entire camp, so it didn't come naturally in the fight.
Yeah, that's whatever it was, you know. And people, Rampage said that as well. Like, when people are talking about, like, I don't know who he was criticizing. He was criticizing someone, but they're saying, oh, he should be doing this, he should be doing that, and he's like, the fans don't, because a commentator, I can't remember exactly who it was, and he's saying, like, Rampage was going, you're just saying shit. You don't even know. You didn't even speak to the corners. You don't speak to me before the fight. You don't know anything. Not that I'm going to necessarily tell you either, but then you're just saying, oh, you should be doing this, you should be doing that, but you don't know anything. You don't know why he's doing what he's doing, as opposed to saying what you should be doing. Like, rather, you should try and say what is actually being done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just find that. That's why I really want to get the coaches in. I don't want to just speculate on people, you know. And
I'll share that next week. Hopefully we can work it out. I understand he's very busy at the moment, but
yeah, 100%.
Yeah, incoming.
What were you going to say? You're going to say something?
No, I'd love to ask, like, Chris and his team, do you know what I mean, about the 2 wins against Anderson, do you know what I mean? Because I think he would have copped a lot of, he didn't really get the props he deserved. There was always an excuse, do you know what I mean? The first time Anderson was mucking around, do you know what I mean? It was more Anderson's fault, and then the second time, him breaking his leg, do you know what I mean? I would like to know how that period was and stuff like that, if we get to speak to him.
What do you think, though? Do you think that it was Anderson or it was Chris?
Man, it was a bit of both. Anderson's done that with plenty of people and knocked him out. So, do you know what I mean? It's a tactic that's worked before. The second fight, unlucky, I don't know. But I would like to see how, do you know what I mean, how they sort of dealt with that, because there would have been a lot of people, do you know what I mean, oh, you didn't really win and stuff like that. But he knocked him out the first time. Broke my heart, but knocked him out.
What do you think? I picked Chris in that fight.
Did you?
Yeah.
Well, because back then I was a welterweight, I think. So, like, when that all happened, like, I wasn't really focusing too much on the middleweight division. I knew that, like, Weidman was rising really fast, and actually I almost paid for a seminar to go to one of his jiu-jitsu seminars he was doing in the area, and in TriStar.
Oh, okay.
He did a seminar in TriStar because it was way back then, and I was like, who's Chris Weidman? And then I looked him up and I was like, wow, this is Chris Weidman. And then he ended up looking at Anderson Silva, and I was like, well, but definitely in a sense that, yeah, he did become like the David out of, like, David and Goliath sort of thing when he beat Anderson the first time. Like, he was kind of like the guy that stopped him. I feel like there was.
Yeah, but do you feel that people gave him enough credit for his thing, or they said that it was because Anderson clowned? Yeah,
and that's kind of what I'm going with. Like, I feel like there was, like, UFC were kind of backing him a little bit because he did start a legend and they tried to hype him up, but I feel like he didn't get the props he deserved. He should have gotten for starting such a legend the way he did. I don't think it was because Anderson mucking around, because Anderson has done that every fight. Like, it's not that he was mucking around. No, that's how Anderson fights, and he got caught because he fights like that, not because he was mucking around. Like, I don't think Anderson Silva has mucked around in any fight.
No, I don't think so either.
I don't think he's ever mucked around. Like, anyone who says, oh, he goofs around, no, that's how he fights. He's not goofing around. So if he's goofing around, you beat him. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't happen. That's how he fights. And Weidman didn't get sucked into any of that. Just walked him down, had faith in what he was doing, and then clipped him. Like, He knew.
And I honestly think, like, if you're clowning someone and they knock you out, they knocked you out. That's it.
Yeah.
There's no two ways about it. Like, they cracked your head open.
They're done.
In the second fight, I feel like he threw the kick and Weidman checked it.
Yeah, it was. I don't think it was lucky or unlucky. I think like that's the risk of that kick.
Like, I think, that's exactly right. I think, like, that's as much a risk as, like, me throwing a punch but not rolling at the right time and getting hit. I threw a kick and you checked it on the button. It's the same to me. It's the same as if I threw a punch and didn't roll and you clipped me. I think it's...
I was a little close to home, that one. I was a little close to home, buddy.
It's like that. You didn't roll the right way. But you know what? Like, that's... But what are you going to say? And that's what I mean as well. Like, honestly, like, when people talk about... Like, I've seen some of the comments surrounding, like, your game plan, this game plan, whatever. And I think, like, you got to give your opponent his props.
Yeah.
He fucking won.
Yeah.
That's it.
100%.
Do you know what I mean? Like, anything else that needs to be discussed will be discussed with your team, by your team, and with the people around you.
100%.
And the rest of the time, it's congratulations to your opponent.
Yeah.
Fucking, that's it. Move on. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
You're going to, oh no, it was not him. It was not him. It was me.
Yeah,
that didn't follow.
Excuses are for weaklings.
Yeah, like, what are you going to say? Like, don't worry about it, man. He won. That's it. Shake hands, move on.
See you next time.
See you next time, man. And that's it. And whatever needs to be discussed will be discussed.
100%.
We have 2,000 experts fucking commenting on shit. So
we have way more than that now. Like, as soon as, like, we have 98. We have 2% of our.
Yeah, of our viewership.
That's about 2%. 2,000 experts.
So, yeah. What do you think of the Cub Swanson versus Gracie fight?
That's one of the better fights of this year, I think.
Really?
Yeah, you didn't think so?
I didn't like it.
Really?
I didn't think it was a great fight.
Like, in what sense?
I think both guys are warriors,
but
I didn't
think a technical, as in, like, you're sitting back and you're watching two dudes duke it out. Because, like, I could break it down for a while. Like, I think they both kind of... I felt like they both...
I'm not going to say I didn't like it, but it wasn't... To me, it wasn't like... It wasn't like a great fight. I didn't...
Yeah, it wasn't a super technical fight. And I think both guys fought with a lot of pride.
100%.
Now I'm saying this as a guy who hasn't asked either one of them. So please, nobody get defensive or jump on me for that. Like, I apologise in advance of making...
I'm just checking something. Sorry.
I apologise in advance for making the wrong assumption. But it looked to me like they were fighting with a lot of pride. Especially Cron. I feel like Cron was like, I want to duke this one out because the dude's ground game is phenomenal. And I don't think I can't even remember him shooting in the first and second round. Like,
he
granted,
guard a couple of times.
I saw the guard pulls in the third, like, and I thought they were cool, you know. But trying to pull guard in the third is a bit late, I feel. I don't think he shot a lot in the first and second.
He pulled guard in the second as well.
He did pull guard earlier. He did pull guard earlier, but
like, yeah, he wasn't.
He wasn't pressing.
He was just pressing, trying to strike and slug with him. And you know, another thing is, like, when I say, like, I didn't see him like try to take it to the ground because his ground is so strong. Cub was also doing a great work of moving a lot.
That's the thing, you know. Like, you try to explain to people that as well. Like,
it's like, why didn't he shoot? Why didn't he shoot?
No, Cub's a good wrestler, and Cub was moving and doing the right things.
Yeah.
And shooting takes a lot of energy.
Yeah.
And although it didn't look like it, Cub was landing bombs to his body. Bombs.
The whole fight.
Bombs, man.
I could hear him. Like, the
whole
fight.
You know, it looked like it didn't affect him, but it did affect him.
It slows you down.
Yeah.
It slows you down. And
I don't know as well. Was Cron injured going? I don't know.
Yeah. So, and that's what I mean. Like, I don't think, like, I'm not going to say, oh, he fought too proud and just wanted to strike and bang with Cub. He should have taken it. No, because the Cub was doing the right things as well, and they were trading big shots.
I like the fight in as far as, like, the test of heart, test of grit, and all of that.
That's what I was going to go.
I found that Cron towards the end was starting to pressure so much that Cub was starting to gas.
Yeah.
both of their skill sets.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was kind of...
And that's kind of... When I say that it's up there with one of the best fights of the year, it's because, like, I understand that, like, however these guys fought, and I think they are, as you said, I think they're better than the shows they put on. The heart and the level of the heart and the...
From that perspective, absolutely.
Yeah, and the show and the skill set, like, then the heart and the soul they just left out there.
No, that you can't take away from them.
Yeah, and I was just like, hats off to you, good sir.
No, 100%. In that regard,
that was
absolutely.
amazing.
No, absolutely. Did you think that Kron could have won that? Because Kron, some people saying Kron won, some people said, Kron said he won. Do you believe that?
No, like, I wouldn't, like, I wouldn't have written a letter saying, like, of disappointment, saying that, like, man, no, definitely Kron won the thing. Or if Kron did win, Cub would have won. Like, I think it was two guys. Kron was definitely pushing forward a lot, but Cub was landing very significant. Like, he was landing good shots on the counter. His pivots were so, like, beautiful. Like, his way of pivoting off the fence or pivoting off the back foot was just immaculate. And his body work was huge, like, uncontested, like, free body work the whole fight. So, I think it was a good fight. Like, I think it could have gone, like, it could have floated either way. I think definitely Kron advanced a lot. Like, it was definitely the guy chasing, but that doesn't win you fights.
I felt that Cub won it, like, clearly. You don't even get like, there's no points for walking forward and taking shots. I felt that Cub won that pretty clearly.
Yeah,
I think Kron gave a great account of himself.
Yeah.
And I think he came forward and he fought till the end. But I thought Cub won that. Yeah.
You know, I feel like Cub was landing the more significant shots. But, you know, you have to see how the judge scored, because sometimes the judges can surprise you and just...
No, but you yourself, how do you feel?
Me personally, I think Cub won. Like, although Kron was walking forward a lot and, like, pressuring a lot, he was taking a lot of big shots. He was getting hit a lot. Like, yeah, he was landing some shots, but not the same impact Cub was landing. When they would trade, Cub would pivot out, trade again, and then, like, Kron would just keep walking forward. Kron would turn and then start walking forward again.
Here's the thing. Cub's a good jiu-jitsu, black belt, good wrestler. How dangerous would you feel being on top of someone like Kron? Like, how dangerous would it be for you? Because you fought Jacare and you didn't want to follow it to the ground.
Yeah,
initially in the first time.
Now being good at jiu-jitsu and then, like, going to the ground MMA, two very different things. Two very, very different things. But I think, especially when you're fighting for keeps, like we are in the UFC and MMA, why risk it? Like, why give them the advantage? You know, why give them home territory at all? You know, so, like, yeah, I just wouldn't. Like, with the guy with the level of jiu-jitsu that, like, him and Jacare have, like, you have to be aware of it, like, constantly. You can't ever not. But it is very different. It is very different to like, jiu-jitsu matches on the mats and whatnot.
What do you think, Ilo?
I was on the Kron bandwagon, but Cub won that 100%. I can't. There's no doubt in my mind that he won that very comfortably.
I love seeing Kron fight.
I wanted, like, the good story. Do you mean for him to get that win and keep climbing and stuff like that? I thought the difference was in their striking. It still didn't look natural, I don't think, for Kron. Do you mean that striking and that? He was very square, got punched a lot, got hit a lot. Do you know what I mean? And then body shots and that, just a lot. Why Cub did really well of staying on the outside. Man, he would have done some steps. I know he would have threw some punches, but the amount of like, do you know what I mean, distance he would have covered too, just always getting on that outside. He was just getting walked down, but he was just peppering him. Each time he would get walked down, he'd pepper him and move on.
You know, like, hats off to Cub's cardio. Because he was moving so much.
He was tiring at the end. He was starting to...
Yeah, but, like, even to last until then. Like, he was moving so much. Like, even free moving, like, when Cron wasn't advancing him fast. He was like bouncing and moving and pivoting. And then again, like when Cron would move forward, he'd go pep, 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 pivot, pep, 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 and then get out and start moving again. Like that is huge. That's a huge toll on your gas.
This is a hard question, I suppose, for you because you learned striking before grappling. But I know it's hard for some strikers to learn grappling or they don't think. But how hard do you reckon it is for the grapplers to learn striking? Depending on the grappler, of course. But because like you said, like that was the thing that I felt when I was watching it. I was like, and I'm sure he's working on it and he's going to be better next fight.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But he just looked a little bit like a little bit behind.
Yeah,
you know?
punches look forced and do you mean they just don't look like they come natural to him?
His body doesn't move naturally with it.
Yeah.
With the striking.
Yeah. It is a hard question. Yeah,
because there's a lot of like real fine things in striking.
I don't even know how I answer that.
Like, do you notice that? Like when you've sparred guys that are really good grapplers, but you've just sparred them in striking, or you've sparred them striking and grappling, just sparred them in MMA. How badly does that stand out? Their striking when their striking's not like what you feel, not what other people think. Like what you feel.
Mate, like you mean like when I've sparred other grapplers?
Like when you've sparred a guy that's a good grappler, but his striking's not quite there, and he's trying to force a grapple.
You know what it is? It's from my opinion, like when I'm sparring them, it's I find it easy to hit them and it's easy to engage, but they do stuff unexpectedly. They do things that my mind can't compute well. Because it doesn't make sense in my mind. Like they'll throw a punch from an angle that my mind will put together real quick. Like, oh, he's standing like this. And these are all thoughts I don't think about. This is something that just like happens in the moment. And a lot of strikers will tell you that. Like, that you can't really word this well. But my body, if you're in front of me and we're sparring and your body moves a certain way or something like that, my body will already know what to do and I'll start doing it. So I'll move to the right because you're cocking back your right. So or I'll slip to the left because your body's, pivoted this way a little bit. But a big thing when I've sparred, like say wrestlers, guys who come from wrestling, grappling, and then pick up kickboxing later in life, they do weird things. Like their feet are all over the place, so I think they're in no position to hit me, and they'll throw a punch with the using the momentum of the earth at the same time, and it'll come from an overhand whilst they're ducking. It's weird. And I'm pretty sure they don't get it either. but that's the only telling feeling that I have when I spar these guys. Like, and it's super awkward because they don't come from the same roots as me. So I don't understand why they're doing what they're doing, but it works. I think you see that a lot in the UFC when you see those wrestlers, they start racking up knockouts because they're just throwing these huge bombs against these strikers. Like and they're confident in what they do, but they just rush in and they throw a punch that's just weird and out of nowhere, and they clip a lot of people. No, I think was big on that for a while was
Hendricks.
It was just
Dan Henderson.
Yeah, like
Dan Henderson's another one.
Yeah, they didn't
Nasty
really have like clean striking, but they just get in there, they throw an overhand like out of nowhere, and it just destroys your face when it hits you.
What do you think? What do you think of the main event, Joanna versus Michelle Waterson? Sorry, Joanna, I can't say your surname.
JJ.
Yeah, that's not her surname. But go on.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty one-sided. I thought Joanna looked amazing. Like, I'm a big fan of Michelle. Like, big fan. I think she's such a nice lady. She's always been so nice to my wife on socials and things like that. I think she's a beautiful human being. But Joanna was on fire that night. Like, she's a weapon. She was controlling the clinch game too well. She was controlling the clinch game perfectly. Like,
Did you feel that Joanna was a lot bigger? Like longer and bigger?
Yeah, you know.
Because I'd see Michelle Waterson's legs would look short.
Well, and it looked like every time Joanna would hit Michelle, it would make Michelle flinch, like wince. It would, and you know what? It made me feel. It made me feel like when Joanna fought Rose the first time. I was like, Rose looked much bigger than her. And then she looked like much longer and taller than Michelle. Michelle looks like a real petite woman. You know, Joanna was just on fire that night. It was her night. She was good. She was on point. Her volume, and it looked like, from what I could see, the damage she was doing, like the impact was hurting Michelle. She was just stringing things together well, especially the clinch game on the wall. I felt like she controlled the fight a lot with that.
And that, I think, is one of those things where it takes you out of your element when you go, I'm going to take this person down, and they're at least matching you in that area. That starts to...
Yeah. And, like, so she would, like, she'd go pa, 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 and then, like, move into that clinch space, and then she'd slow it right back down till she felt good again, then break it up and go back into work, pa, 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 and then move back into that clinch space again. So, I felt that she just controlled the fight the entire time. She did almost get her head taken off a couple of times with those kicks. Michelle was like doubling up on those kicks, and it was really nice to see. She got kicked in the throat.
Yeah.
That one kick, it was like tense, not even like 2 centimeters higher. It would have.
It's funny, yeah. That's the game there.
Like it was so close.
Split seconds and
So
centimeters,
close.
millimeters.
The kick hit it just there, like a little bit higher. But,
what do you think, Eli?
Man, Joanna, she throws with intent, hey. Like, I thought Michelle would come forward with maybe not so much of a intent single punch or something like that, or a strike, that little up kick she was throwing that didn't look like her distance was right, and then Joanna would just unleash with a combination and intent behind it.
Bang, bang, bang,
Do you
bang,
mean
bang.
a lot of, she knew
It looked
she
like
was just countering that with it. And
It looked like Joanna was throwing with disregard to her body, eh?
yeah, she
was throwing kicks with just her foot on her knees. She broke her foot from
Yeah,
the
I was
fight.
going to say she broke her
Yeah,
foot.
but like on knees, ankles, elbows, she's just trying to hit her.
No, when she was throwing with some
And she had the distance there too.
Yeah, definitely. So I think that's where Michelle, she would throw a jab, which, I don't know, it wasn't like a feint, or it wasn't with intent to hit the person, and then Joanna would counter and just boom, boom, boom.
I think it's huge that she could slow the fight down whenever she wished as well. Just move
That
to-
massive, controlling that tempo.
Like, not obviously for the physical side of things, but for the mental side of things. Like when you get tired in that mid range from striking, when you get tired of always thinking like which way to go, which way to do this, should I attack now, should I not? When you start to get mentally fatigued from it, she could just slow it right down until she felt good again. Like, yeah, it was. I thought she just controlled the fight. I think it was a great fight. I think they were great sportsmanship after it. They seemed
I really felt for Michelle after when she had that interview and that as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's hard losing and stuff like that, and she's got a family, she's got training partners and coaches and that, and she obviously thought she felt good in that, and that's what happens sometimes. So
Yeah.
props to her. A mum
sometimes it's just not
as
your
well
night.
doing it. Do you know what I mean? So much respect.
Yeah.
So hard, man.
Yeah.
I was watching that. I was thinking it'd be hard, man. Like, that'd just be such hard. I think, like, that's a husband that's with her too, eh?
Don't know.
Isn't that a husband? I always thought it was
I
a
think
husband.
so. Yeah, I
Maybe.
think her husband's.
Yeah,
always with
I
her.
think
Maybe.
that'd be so hard
Yeah.
to watch your wife fight.
Yeah, I don't
Like,
know.
you being in the corner.
I can't imagine. Like, I cannot imagine what that would be like. I would be freaking out. I would be freaking out so bad. I couldn't do it.
Yeah. I don't know. That'd be
Just
hard
wasn't-
for me.
But it just wasn't her day. Everyone has them
It
days.
happens. Yeah,
Yep.
like we were saying earlier, you can do everything right. She's a beautiful like human being. She's a great fighter. She got in. She said she felt great. Everything was perfect. And
Some
I don't-
days, we just mentioned it before. It can be a matter of centimeters, split
Yeah.
seconds. Do you mean just every time is just a split second too late or a split second too early and centimeter
and
off?
it doesn't
and
have to be. It doesn't have to be in that moment. Like, like when you're saying that, this I think a lot of people don't understand. It's not like a split second. I threw a punch, and I missed that one punch by a split second, but it can be just like the timing's just that little bit off. If you anyone that's played a sport, like if you play basketball, there's games you go out there and you'll shoot, and you can hit shots from anywhere. But then there's other games that you're shooting and it's off by like a millimeter every shot, and it just hits the rim.
Cricket.
No one plays cricket, Eli.
I
Stop
play
it.
cricket, but cricket's the big one. Sometimes the ball, you just see.
No one relates to this. Go on.
They do. There's cricket fans everywhere.
Tell us it.
Yeah.
No, but cricket, sometimes you see the ball really well and you can just smack it anywhere you want. Other days, it's just not on. You miss it every time.
Is that what happens the days you're on? You can just hit it anywhere you want.
I do.
I'm only asking because I've
No one plays cricket.
Fourth grade, Ballina Bears. Shout out.
But yeah, you can be off completely. You know what I mean?
And you know what's another crazy thing? Last bit, promise. Last bit.
No, sorry. You can be off and the other person's on, and that's a shit night for you.
Yeah. You know, and like, she was like a centimetre away from being the next genius. Her game plan was phenomenal.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
the best thing since the wheel. Like, she was a centimetre off from that. Like, it's just... The fans suck
It's
sometimes.
revisionist history, though. You know what I mean?
The fans suck
and
sometimes.
even analysts, though. Like you
Talking to you 2%.
Yeah. No, but even analysts, but analysts I understand because they have to make their living off that. But it's not accurate.
Nah.
Do you get what I mean? Like, it's like, you know, when you see the football coaches and they pause the play, like they pause the play and they go, if you had done this, you can't just see that there's an overlap, or like you're watching the rugby league and the guys are stopping it and going, look at this, there's stop it here, and you can see that over there there's two overlaps. And you're like, dude, that's not how it happened. You're looking at a revisionist history, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Of course, that looks like that now, and of course, let's all shit on the halfback.
Yeah, I could go back and
Yeah, for not doing that.
tell
But
them how to win World War One. Like,
yeah, 100%. But that's exactly right. Like you go, hey, you know what? If there was no one on that beach, you could have just landed everything there. You stupid. You could have.
Or if you just went around the corner.
Yeah. There was no one there. You know, there were no more supplies there. You know, like we can go back all the way in time. You know, there was a land bridge from like fucking Alaska to Russia. You know, you could have just got across. You know, like fuck, it's stupid. This fight card that's coming up, Greg Hardy versus Ben Sassoli.
Yeah. You know, well...
Can I say something first?
Yes.
Ben Sassoli, knockout, I think.
Shout out, Ben Sassoli.
I think Ben Sassoli's going to knock him out.
He was on our season's show.
Not on your team.
Not on my team. Good guy, but...
Good guy.
Great for a laugh. Yeah, I can see him. He had a lot of real power. He went up against Juan, who ended up winning the entire thing.
Yeah, but Juan's one of the better grapplers in that heavyweight division.
Yeah, like I think of the entire heavyweight division, you know, and like we told Juan just take him down, like to avoid that power because Ben has some serious power.
And he's light on his feet.
He's very light, and surprisingly light on his feet.
Yeah.
He reminds me of like Mark Hunt.
Yeah.
Like he really reminds me of that. He has the same sort of character, same sort of stand up.
Yeah.
And I can see him doing some work there.
I see him. He's light on his feet. He's got a good chin. I think.
And he's been made aware of his
He's got a good team. Trains down there with Daniel Kelly and all of that.
He's been made aware that getting taken down and held down is a big problem.
I don't think Greg Hardy can take him down and hold him down.
No.
Not like he's good. He's got good judo. I think he can box too. You know, like I know he can box, but I think like that's going to be an interesting one.
Yeah.
But that's my dark horse prediction is Ben Sassoli.
I'm with you on that one, Ben Sassoli.
What about you?
bandwagon, I'm on it all day.
You're on it?
Yeah.
Famous bandwagon jumper.
Yeah,
Yep.
boy.
Yeah, he's my boy.
Awesome. What about Yair Rodriguez versus Stevens?
Yeah. That's a... Yair? Yeah, I'm going to butcher his name every time.
Yair Rodriguez.
Just call him Rodriguez.
Yair.
Yeah.
Yair. He's an amazing fighter. He is an amazing fighter. He's so fluent and creative when he comes to do things. I can see him just being on the outside, working him, so picking him apart. He's very good at that. He's very good at staying unpredictable. Stevens is a tough fighter. Very, very tough fighter. But I'm going to have to lean towards Yair.
Eli?
Rodriguez.
You think Rodriguez as well? I think he might be a little bit too elusive and creative.
Yeah. He's so dynamic, so creative. Like, it's just... And from his last fight, not his last one, but his last one, he it doesn't matter what time it is. It doesn't matter if there's 1 second to go or if it's early. Like, he's just creative the entire time. His brain is always putting together new stuff. He's just so much fun to watch. Glad he's not a middleweight.
Weidman versus Dominic Reyes.
Yeah, you know what? I think that's a very hard fight. I think there's a lot of factors we can't really consider in the fact that Weidman is moving up, first fight in light heavy. But just out of fanboyish, I'm going Weidman.
Well, how do you see Dominic Reyes though doing it? Like, how do you see him doing in that division? Like, how do you see him doing against Weidman in general? Like, not necessarily if he's going to win, but can you see Weidman taking him down, holding him down?
It's hard because he's
a good wrestler.
Yeah, Reyes has got very good
hits
wrestling,
hard,
and
good leg kicks.
and everyone in that division hits very hard. But I'm still going to go behind Weidman. Weidman could take Romero down. Like Weidman can take a lot of I think Weidman's wrestling is phenomenal, and I think his combat wrestling. So I think his entries into his shots are just perfect. But Reyes does hit very hard, But I'm sure their team, Weidman's team, have methodically gone through this, and I think Weidman will come in pretty solid.
I hope to see a Weidman win only because I've followed Weidman for a long time. But I'm a fan of Reyes as well. I'm interested in this fight a lot. One of the things I was going to say was sometimes it's not stuff that happens even in the octagon. You know what I mean? Like when you're looking at people winning, losing, what they do right, what they do wrong, you should train like this, you should do that, you should. A lot of times it's not even things that are in the octagon. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes it's things that fighters have to get right, or they're doing this, or they've changed, or they were doing things wrong for a couple of years. Now they're doing things right, but it just so happens that the doing things right stuff has to catch up. You know what I mean? Because you don't just because I start doing jiu-jitsu today doesn't mean that I'm going to be good at jiu-jitsu on Wednesday. It's going to take a few years before you start seeing me tap people out. You know what I mean? So a lot of that is the timeline. You're just jumping in on one day in their lives. So that's a big thing as well. What do you got coming up, Rob? The spearfishing Jacques Cousteau thing is going to be incredible.
I cannot wait for Sunday. The spearfishing is going to be unreal. Honestly, that's
the only thing you have to look forward to in your life.
Yeah, there's not much, eh? No, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm going to spend some time with family, get away for a bit, I think. And then...
Where are you going?
I'm not going to say. Secret.
Yeah, but you could just say you're going up the coast or down the coast.
I'm going to a beach. Going to a beach.
Yeah, but up or down?
I don't know.
People won't know, dude.
But what if they do and they find me?
Do you know how big Australia is?
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah, but how far am I willing to go?
He's going down the south coast. Down the south coast.
So far down.
Yeah. But the New South Wales South Coast is an amazing place.
Australia's an amazing place.
Yeah, but the New South Wales South Coast in particular, guys. New South Wales South Coast.
This guy's selling it. He's got shares. He's got shares. Yeah, but no, I'm going to spend some time with the fam. I can't wait, and it'd be good just to get away and whatnot. I don't think my little girl has seen the beach yet, so she maybe have.
True Westie.
She might have. She's young. Relax.
That's like Jacob. Jacob Malkoon, 27 years old, hasn't seen the beach yet.
Relax. He goes
to the beach in his Adidas tracksuit pants.
So no, I'm looking forward to that. Looking forward to going spearing on Sunday. What about yourself, mate?
Well, no, you got pan packs a week after.
Yeah. No, that chestnut.
That old chestnut.
I'm looking forward. I'm going to go competing next weekend as well down in Melbourne. Can't wait. I love competing. I love competing in those scenes. And we're going down with the team.
So that'll be like your third time to Melbourne in
3 weeks.
3 weeks, 4 weeks.
I've gone every week for the last month. It's the best.
Barrel of fun.
Yeah. Shout out to Uber Eats. you guys are doing me well down there.
And you're speaking to her, which I won't be a part of actually, because my daughter will be born around that time. So unfortunately, I won't be able to be there, which shouldn't really affect anything because it's you're speaking to her. But I would have liked to have been there.
Yeah, I would have liked you to have been there. But we'll do more in the future, I'm sure. The speaking tour through November and December. You can get tickets and find locations on my website, which is in the link below.
Can you do the link below, Eli?
No.
Fucking hell, now you got him standing there pointing down at...
Look at me look like a dickhead.
He's pointing down to himself.
Put the link in here.
You can't do it?
No.
You can't do it.
David Roberts hasn't taught me that. I sit here and press buttons. Come on.
Where do you go to? Your website, eh?
Yes, go head over to robwhittaker.co for the list of locations and date times. I'm really looking forward to that. Looking forward to opening up, more than I ever have before. Just therapeutic as well as just to let people in on the story and see if they can take something from it. But I'm looking forward to it.
All right.
Your gym looks good.
The new gym, Gracie
Yes.
Tarman. Good call, Eli. Good
No, it
call.
does. I've seen the up on Instagram and that looks smick.
Yeah,
it
it's
is
actually
amazing.
like a really, really nice gym. It's in Atarman there. Please look it up, Gracie Atarman. Just go Google Gracie Atarman.
Or you can click here. He's freaking out every time I do it.
So if you get a chance, if you're in the Atarman area, or even if you're in Russia or Mongolia somewhere and you're in Sydney, please come to Gracie Atarman.
Yeah.
Check it out. It's got honestly, it's a really, really nice gym. We got a whole bunch of new instructors there. Lucas is our head instructor at that gym. So
We have a great coaching lineup there at the moment.
really, really good.
Unreal.
So
And you know what? I don't think people understand what it's like to go into a jiu-jitsu gym or to be part of a school from the very day one. To be part of something brand new that's just starting out, because I think a lot of people join gyms that's been going on for a long time, and no, if you join from day one, you can be a part of the culture that's built there. You have a hand in it.
Yeah, you're part of it. You help build it.
It's something special. I know I'm selling it hard, but it is something special.
You're not much of a salesman, to be honest with you.
I'm pretty good.
Not really, but
Not you in the South Coast shares.
no, South Coast guys, New South Wales South Coast. And there's Gracie Smith Grange as well. So we got those two things. Those two gyms are keeping us busy. That's it. Now,
Might just shout out quickly just to a couple of the guys who are loving the content. Jordan Herkett, remember Jordan?
Jordan
Group one.
Herkett, the champion, the
Yeah.
fitness champion.
He's down Melbourne now
sprinter.
these days. Yep. Noak, another one, and we've got
Yeah, no.
Sam.
Did you say Noak as in Kyle Noak?
No, it's just NOK.
Oh,
Is that how you would say it?
And okay, knock.
Knock. All right. Shit. I'm going to cop that now off everyone. Cheers. Yeah, just shout out they're loving the content. So
Shout out, boys.
awesome.
Thank you very much.
you guys. Thank you for listening and being part of the 98 to 99% of people.
Yes,
Thank you very much. Guys, we'll catch you very, very soon.
it's been real.
Thank you guys. See you later.
Peace.
Bye-bye.